We've been learning to deal with money. We've been learning to add and subtract money, and we've been using column methods. Sometimes it's very difficult to use column methods, and I'm going to show you an example right now, because sometimes you might want to use other methods to help you with your calculations, such as a number line or jottings of other sorts. Okay, so this is a subtraction sum. It's a takeaway. It says £10 takeaway, £8.63, and at the top you can see I've written it horizontally. So I've then prepared the calculation with the larger number at the top, and I've written it carefully and neatly with the numbers underneath one another in the correct columns. I've put the decimal point in to separate the pounds from pence, and I've used 0 as a placeholder here. Okay, so as usual, if we're doing this type of calculation, we would go to the far right and we would say to ourselves, 0 take away 3. Now, we can't do that. We know that if we haven't got any pennies, we cannot take away 3 pennies. And usually when we're trying to do these types of calculations in this manner, we would go to the next column. But as you can see that there's a 0, and so we cannot do any borrowing for this subtraction. In fact, there's a lot of zeros at the top, which, whilst this calculation is possible, it makes it extremely difficult to do, and it's very easy to make mistakes. So I'm going to show you how to do it, but afterwards I'm also going to show you how to use a number line as well, in case you'd prefer that method. It's important you use methods that you're comfortable with. So as I said, we can't do 0 take away 3. We can't borrow from this column, so instead we go all the way over here to this 1 here. And this 1 stands for £10. Now what I'm actually going to do is, I'm going to remove that £10 from that column, and that's why I'm putting a 0 there. And I'm actually going to move it across from the £10 column to the £1 column. And if I know that if I move across £10 into this column, if there weren't any in there before, there's now going to be £10 here. So I'm going to put a 1 there to explain why there's £10 there. Okay, now it actually doesn't help me any more because I still can't do 0 take away 3 over here. But what I'm actually now going to do is I'm going to, from this column here that's now got £10, remember I'm not adding or subtracting at the minute, I'm just moving money around from column to column, and I'm doing this to make it easier to do the calculation. I'm going to remove one of these pound coins, and I'm actually just going to move it into this column. Now, this is the 10 pence column, and I know that 10 pences make a pound. So I know that if I move £1 over here, instead of having 0 10 pences, I'll have 10 pences. So I cross that out to show that I now have 9 pound coins instead of 10. And I put a line there to show that I now have 10 pences instead of 0. And at this point, because I now have 10 pences in this column, I can use this to help me with this column here. I can borrow from this column, and I can move, and I can exchange a 10 pence in this column for 10 pennies here. Now at the minute it says 0, but because I'm moving 10 pence into here, I put a wee mark there. So I have now demonstrated that there are 9 10 pences there in the 10 pence column, and there are 10 pennies here. So I can now complete the calculation. 10 take away 3 makes 7. 9 take away 6. Now remember, this is the 10 pence column, so you could say 90 take away 60 equals 30. So that's why we put a 3 there. And then we go into the pounds column. Now we have 9 now, take away 8, which is 1. And we have no £10, and we don't have to take away any £10. So there's the answer, okay? £1.37. So although I've said to use 0 as a placeholder, you can actually rewrite it, and you can write it as I'm putting at the top of the screen here, the answer, which is £1.37. And we would use a pound sign with this and no pence sign because it's over 99 pence, okay? Yes, we could convert that into pennies, which is 137 pennies, but if you were to see that price in a shop, that's how we would write it, £1.37. So as I said, it's very easy to make mistakes when you are doing a column method, which is subtraction, and you've got lots of zeros. I have shown you that it is possible, but I'm going to show you an alternative method using a number line. In fact, I'm going to show you two, and then again, you can choose which you prefer. Okay? So let's see if we get the same answer. I know that a lot of you prefer adding instead of subtracting. So why don't we use the counting on method? So the calculation does say 10 take away £8.63, but we can use the counting on method, so we must put the smallest number here first. So we have £8.63, and at the other end of the number line, we write the larger number, £10. And we are going to calculate what we add to the smaller number, £8.63, to get to £10. We're going to work out the difference between these two amounts, in other words, by counting on. So because there's a 3 there, and I know that 3 add 7 makes 10 pence, that's the first amount that I'm going to add to this number, £8.63. So I'm going to draw my hop. I'm going to write add 7 pence, and I know that 7 and 3 makes 10 pence, so I know that the answer will be £8.70. Okay, because we're now on the next multiple of 10, which is 70 after 60. Now, some of you might decide to take a giant leap from here to here and feel that you can accurately work out the difference between £8.70 and £10. I'm going to do it in a different way, and I'm going to use a step before I get to £10, and because I know that that says £8.70, I'm going to think about what I add to get to the next pound after £8. Now, the next pound after £8 is £9. There are 100 pennies in a pound. What would we add to get from 70 to 30? Oh, I've made a mistake there. I meant to say, because I've given you the answer. Never mind. What would we add to get from 70 pence to a pound? Or what would we add to get from 70 pence to 100 pence? And obviously, I've just told you the answer. We would add to get to £9. What a nonner I am. 30 pence. And I know that 7 add 3 makes 10. So I know that 70 add 30 makes 100. Okay. So now I can do a hop from here, from £9 to £10. So I've done in 3 different hops, I've worked out the difference between £8.63 and £10. And now, in order to finish, what I must do now is I must add them all together, okay? So I add the £1, I'm starting with the biggest number and the 30 pence, so that means £1.30. I don't need any working out for this, I can do it in my head. And from the £1.30, I add the 7 pence, okay, which comes to £1.37, and there we have it, the same answer. So we've tried using subtraction column method, and we've tried using counting on with a number line. Now, some of you might want to do a subtraction or a takeaway using a number line, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do that, and so you've got another strategy there under your belt. Now, I've just realised it would be easier if I start lower down here so that you can see a bit better. So I'm going to draw the number line about here, and this time I put my first number here, and it's the larger number, which is £10. And I'm going to move the board so you can see that bit better. Wrong way. There we go. And this time I don't put a number here, because I don't know what the answer is yet, because I'm actually going to take away the £8.63. And again, I'm going to do it in hops. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm going to start with taking away the £8. So I think I will do that, put a takeaway and take away £8. I could write it like that, or I could write it like that. And 10 take away 8 is 2. So I'm going to write that there, £2. And I'm just going to put a wee tick above the 8 at the top. Okay. I'm going to move this slightly so you can see that I've put a wee tick at the top. Just bear with me. There we go. So that way then, there we go. It means that I'm remembering what I've taken away so I don't get muddled up. Okay. Now, the next column is the 10 pences, and I've got to take away 60 pence. So that's quite tricky because I've got £2 here. Okay. Now some of you might be able to do that in your heads, which is fantastic. Okay. Some of you might be able to, as I say, take away the 60 pence from the £2. But I'm going to do it in a little hop first of all. Instead of taking away 6 tens, which is 60 pence, I'm just going to do a wee smaller hop, and I'm going to take away 10 pence. Now I know that there are 100 pennies in a pound, and I know that there are 10 pences in a pound. So if I've got £2, have a think as to if I was to take away 10 pence, what I would be left with. Now, because I said that there are 10 pences in a pound, I'm hoping that the answer you came up with was £1.90. Because 90 and 10 pence makes a pound, okay? So if I'm subtracting 10p, it would be £1.90. Now, I could subtract 5 further lots of 10 pence, but do you know what? Now I've got a 9 in the 10 pence column, I think it's going to be a lot easier for me to take away this 60 pence. Now, I've already taken away 10 pence, so some of you have probably realised that all I need to take away now is 50 pence. And then in total, these 2 hops here, I will have taken away 60 pence. Now actually, the shortcut for me mentally would be 9 take away 6 is 3. So I know that 90 take away 60 is 30. So the numbers that I just need to change would be, sorry, made a mistake there, haven't I? And this is why it's always important to carefully look and check your work. So because we've already taken away 10 pence to make it easier, we are now on £1.90, okay? And we're just taking away 50 pence. So I do apologise. We need to take away 5 from 9. 9 take away 5 is 4, okay? So it's actually going to be £1.40, okay? And so from £2 we have taken away the 60 pence there. So I'm going to tick that off. Now we're left with the 3 pence that we need to take away. Okay, now I'm running out of space at this side of the board. Okay, so I'm actually going to move the board slightly up. In fact, yeah, I think I'll be able to fit it in here. So we only need to take away 3 pence. Okay, so I'm going to think to myself, 40 take away 3 and work backwards. I might even use my fingers. Okay, so whoops a daisy. 40 take away 1, 39, take away 2, 38, take away another 1, 37. So take away 3 is from 40 is 37. So take away 3 pence. Okay. And short on space, but it's going to be £1.37. Okay. And that's exactly the same answer, just so that's a little bit clearer. I'm going to rub out that there. It's exactly the same answer as we got before. So I've shown you 3 methods, okay? 3 methods that you can use to do a subtraction of two money amounts. Remember, with the column subtraction, if you're going to do that, you need to be really careful, especially if there's lots of zeros, and make sure the larger number goes first, okay? And just to make sure that you're clear with this method we've just used, which was subtraction and taking away from the larger number £10, and then we took away the £8.63, you don't need to add up these hops, okay? This is the amount that you took away, £8.63. This adds up to £8.63. This is your answer here, £1.37, okay? I hope that was helpful. Miss Stanway still needs practice with the camera. Okay, good luck with your calculations. Goodbye.